Greetings and welcome. Today I'm going to be talking about Foo Fighters' new album that was released last week called Concrete and Gold. Now, their last album released, I do believe, 2014, named Sonic Highways. I felt that a particular album was kind of overshadowed by the HBO documentary series that came along with that album. But that being said, they've released a new album. So what do I think about it? So basically, it is an album that does have its issues, but it's decent. It gets the job done. It's nothing special, but it's okay. You know what? It's good for a few listens, and that's pretty much it. First of all, it does have a few songs that tend to overstay their welcome, such as Dirty Water and Concrete and Gold. That being said, there is one particular song that I feel has the opposite problem, in which that just as it's getting going, it cuts off, and that's the opening track t-shirt. It just gets going, it has a nice build up, starts off with just an acoustic guitar and vocals, and then it basically just blasts you in the face with almost like a chorus of just sound, both vocals and music. And then it goes into like a cool riff, and then it just ends, and then it goes into Run. Now, going into Run is not a bad thing because Run is hands down the best song on the album. It's the Foo Fighter song I've heard in a while. Now, this is unfortunately part of the problem. Run sets such a high bar that I feel the rest of the album just can't keep pace with it. So the rest of the album does have some decent songs, but so Run is all the way up here. The rest of the album is kind of just sitting down here. So you get this big high early on in the album, and then just everything's just down here the rest of the album. So you got tracks like La-Ti-Da and Sky's the Neighborhood that really tickled my fancy. Then you have just some okay songs like Happy Ever After and Sunday Rain. Then there's the tracks that I feel are kind of just a little bit of a letdown, like Arrow. It's almost as if the Foos are writing this particular song in their sleep. It's basically just paint by numbers, just a typical Foo song, nothing special. And then you have Concrete, which brings up a particular motif I find in this particular album. There's just a hint of classic rock happening in this album. Sometimes it hits, sometimes it doesn't. The time that it doesn't hit is the last track on the album, Concrete and Gold. It sounds like they're trying to go for a Pink Floyd-ish sound, but it kind of just misses its mark. I don't know if it's just the pacing of the song itself or what, but it just doesn't quite do it for me. So also another thing that I find is a bit hit and miss is just the production in general. I find that sometimes it's great. You get a big sound coming from this album. Everything is kind of epic sounding at times. At the same time, though, that same epicness that they're trying to build up kind of drowns out a lot of this album. A lot of times, Dave's vocals get kind of lost in the mix, I find. Also, it may be just the fact that the Foo Fighters have 3 guitarists, now a new keyboard player who's in the band full time. There's not a lot of room for different parts to actually show through. Okay, and then finally, just to give it a final verdict, just to wrap all this up. Like I said, it's a very decent album. Nothing too special, nothing too fancy. One amazing song, a couple of good songs, and then just stuff that's kind of, for lack of a better word, just forgettable. Now, me being a Foo Fighters fan, I'm going to totally recommend this album. But if you're not a Foo Fighters fan, or just a fair weather Foo Fighters fan, you may only listen to a few tracks on the song and that's it. But that's okay. A lot of Foo Fighters albums are like that. So basically, I think that Run, The Sky Is Falling, and La-Ti-Da will get a lot of listen, and then there's a few tracks in there that might tickle a few people's fancy. But yes, again, I'll give it a good recommend. So yeah, that's the end of this review, so the end of this video as well. Do you agree with me? Do you not agree with me? What's your favorite track on the album if you've listened to it? Go ahead and leave all that in the comments. Go ahead and give this channel a like. Go ahead and give this channel a subscribe. Go ahead and share the hell out of this channel. Other than that, though, this is Corey from Letdown, and I'll see you on the flip side.